What happens is that picture archives exchange pictures with metadata in it, and then it disappears, it goes elsewhere, and the pictures lose this information. So what we will, the reason why a technical person addresses, or technical team, that's the best definition, addresses this topic is exactly that there are aspects that are now getting encountered really deeply. So the typical case that we see is the three-side gap. On one side there is the legislation, on the other side is the technology, and in the middle the user. The user does not know what to do in both directions. So what I'm saying that this global interconnected market is accessed by the users and from everywhere, and their pictures are in places that you cannot control, and the scenario will evidence some aspects of this. This is the scenario. Jenny is a photographer. She lives in Malta. She takes pictures in one day, so there is some, we could say, date. She modified these images, so there is also another date, another information. There is place, the author, she uploads them on Flickr. So what is very relevant for, even for patenting, so this we could say more technical, is to know who, where, and when. These three information are fundamental for any kind of licensing, because of the life of the license has a date, and the author. All this information are very, very relevant, but most of them are changed continually. So we cannot say we know some of this information. We have not this information by sure. So how can we ourselves find this information? So Orphan works. What has to do with multi-territorial licensing? Orphan works has to do, we could say that it is an issue of the multi-territorial licensing. If any kind of multi-territorial licensing is activated, because it has some aspects that has to do with who, where, when, and some aspects that really has to do with the marketing and the issues that were raised by the companies, and different subjects that responded to this were really in line with the aspects that has to do with orphan works. Did I mention you already know about these numbers? You heard them this morning. So the British Library estimates 40% of all print works are orphan works. And what is amazing is that, amazing, not really, is the publishing sector is less affected compared to the photographic sector. But this is normal because the publishing sector has editors. So more or less you can close the information to a place, or to, even if the editor has closed, has gone to bankrupt, you know more or less where to get the information. And anyway, there is an authority list of authors and of editors. The same does not exist for photographers. At least in Italy, there is not an authority list for photographers. And we could say everybody is a photographer when he uploads their pictures on Flickr, for example. Today is not considered as a photographer, but in 150 years' time, probably even the less important photographer nowadays could be really important. So let's see from another point of view. You already know about this because all of you have talked about this morning. I will really be quick about this. So multi-territorial right licensing and orphan works. Proposed solutions. So normative, new legislation addressing IP crimes, reduce the cost of IP system, reduce the complexity of intellectual property rights, and technological. You see that things work together but never touch each other almost, we could say. This morning I've heard about databases that are related or could be networked, but you will see that still there are some aspects that are not really clear. Orphan works. Conclusions. Orphan works consider multi-territorial licensing issue, if any, of course. But of course, orphan work is a general issue that if there is no multi-territory licensing, orphan work is still needed, some kind of legislation solving this issue, because we could say it's still already too late.